All right.
What's up, folks? Welcome to Blazing Buzzers channel here. This is Mr. Matt Scar.
Hello, guys. I'm Matt, and welcome to my channel as well. We're doing kind of a double film take here.
We're at my buddy Matt's house.
Yep, and we just wanted to make a little interesting video for you guys, one we've had on our minds for a little while here. We wanted to basically talk about guitar, but we wanted to talk about
check one thing real fast.
We wanted to talk about buying the right guitar. And so recently, me and Mr. Blazing Buzzard here, we were talking, was it like 5 months ago?
Yeah, something like that.
It was about like 4 or 5 months ago. We were talking about guitar like we normally do, and then we just suddenly said, you know what? Let's try and get the guitar we really, truly have always wanted. And so for the last 5 months, we were saving up money, and we did just that. He got his, this is his right here, and I'll let you talk about that.
This is the Ernie Ball Music Man JP15. It is 2023 in Cerulean Paradise. And I wanted a Majesty. That was I was dead set on getting the Ernie Ball Music Man Majesty. Because if it's good enough for John Petrucci, it's good enough for me. Well, as you can see, that didn't quite work out. But I was sitting at home. I was kind of struggling with either a Gibson Les Paul Standard or an Ernie Ball Music Man. One of the two.
Yeah,
And
we were both dead set on getting Gibsons at first.
Yeah.
We were like, let's just buy Gibsons, man. Let's go all out and buy Gibsons. But then a few months later, that changed. And we both said, like, is that what we really want? And like, while Gibsons are awesome, don't get me wrong. Gibsons are amazing. Because he has one and I've played it. He has this Gibson Studio that he has a video on his channel about. So go check that out. But anyway, we just decided, you know what, is that really the guitar we want? Is that the guitar that's going to make us want to play every single day, make us want to practice? Every time we walk by it, we want to pick it up, we want to stare at it, we want to play it no matter what. And I thought, for me, I thought a Gibson probably wouldn't be that guitar. And so I decided, well, let's wait a little bit, and I'm going to weigh in my options. And so back in July, they announced this guitar, a reissue of, let me get it unhooked here so I can give you a better shot of it, a reissue of a Tom DeLonge signature Strat from the early 2000s. But this is the 2023 reissue. It is in surf green. It is beautiful. I love this guitar. I'm a punk head guy, so this is a guitar that's right up my alley. So I've wanted this guitar since I became a Blink-182 fan back in the early 2000s. So, but I could never get one back then because by the time I became a Blink fan, this was already discontinued, and I was like, well, damn. But now, 20 years later, they're back, and I knew that was the guitar that I was going to have to buy. I knew that was the guitar that was going to make me want to pick it up and play and practice every day.
for me, I was kind of like him with the Les Paul, standard. That's what I wanted. Want a Les Paul standard. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, well, the used market has some really cool stuff. Maybe I can find a Majesty. Just maybe. This guy is sitting here at his house. I'm at home at my house. And he's looking on Guitar Center used. He finds this. And he's like, hey man, Guitar Center used has a John Petrucci over here. And I'm just like, what? What?
Yeah.
And he was like, it was $24.99. And okay, yeah. I've wanted one of these forever. But this is $3,500 new.
Mm.
There's no possible way I could afford to just drop the cash on that. So I went down, I saved up 3 months. He takes me down. They had this hanging up in there. I take it over to the counter, and I'm like, okay, I want this. What can you do for me? Had to apply for a credit card just to get the 10% off to help me get this guitar. The reason that this guitar is so special to me and why I chose this over anything else, like he was saying, it's what makes you want to pick it up and play it. It makes you want to practice every day. You don't set any excuses for yourself as to why you don't. For me, it was the piezo system in the saddles right here, the volume boost, the gain boost, coil tap, and then the locking tuners. This thing, floating tremolo, it's just rock solid. It holds tune great. Gibson, no, you won't have that. I'm sorry, I love them, but you won't have that. This third string, I can just bend the hell out of it. It's just a little flat. You turn the tuner, just barely, now it's in tune. You can't do that on a Gibson. The back of the neck, super smooth, roasted maple, and you will not find a better neck than a Music Man neck. I did get the Petrucci strap too.
It's such an amazing guitar. I've played it multiple times too. I really like the piezo system on these guitars. But one thing, you'll notice here is like these guitars, two completely different guitars for different styles. I mean, you can play, you can play music. You can play just about anything on this too.
Yeah.
But like this one is a lot more versatile with different things. With that piezo, you can make the thing sound acoustic.
It's amazing.
And it's freaking awesome. This one don't have a piezo. This one, the reason I like this one, I'm going to talk about like why this one's special to me. Like he talked about his. It's simple. That's what I like about it. Yeah, it doesn't have a neck pickup, which, it doesn't have a neck pickup, yes.
No
tone control. But that doesn't bother me. I mostly play on the bridge pickup 99% of the time anyway, because, like I said, I grew up playing punk rock. So, punk rarely ever uses a neck pickup.
When you play punk, you don't need a neck pickup.
Yeah.
You're never going to use it.
And so, I grew up playing Green Day, Blink-182, Sum 41, Good Charlotte, bands like that. So I was like, you know what? I need to get a guitar that's going to suit my style of playing. And that's another reason this guitar is special to me. It's simple. It suits my style of playing. It's beautiful looking. That surf green color. I've always liked Fender. Believe it or not, though, even though I've always liked Fender, this is the first actual Fender I've ever owned. I've had a bunch of Squires. Haven't we all, though?
Yeah, I've had like 50 of them. No joke.
But, I've always wanted a Fender. But every time I'd go to look at one, I was like, you know what? I don't know if that feels right for me, because you know how whenever you pick up a guitar, if it doesn't feel right to you, then you ain't going to get it. That's just how it is.
And most people, when they look at the Strat, what do you immediately think of? Guys like Clapton, Buddy Guy, Stevie Ray Vaughan, blues guys. And they think that's a blues player's instrument.
Yeah.
They can suit anything. This guitar can suit anything. It'll do anything you want to do. That guitar will do anything you want to do.
Yeah. It's just, they both have just a lot of different specs and different options. Like, this one with the piezo and the bar and the neck and the bridge pickup.
The floating trim
trim. The locking tuners. Yeah, this one don't have locking tuners on it. I'm actually going to install locking tuners on it, because I think you should always have, no matter what guitar, even if it does have decent tuning stability, even without locking tuners, I still think you should put locking tuners on anyway to make it even better than it is.
There's one thing I want to say that I think every guitar that's manufactured should have. And this is just my personal opinion. The truss rod adjustment for the Music Man is right here underneath the pickup. It's a wheel. You don't have an Allen wrench up here.
Nope.
You stick anything in here. It can be a screwdriver, a punch, whatever, and you just turn it that way. It's just more convenient. It's easier to get to. You can adjust it mid-show if you need to, on the fly.
Yep, exactly.
The neck is super stable on this too, with that roasted maple. Stainless steel frets, You can't wear them out. I mean, it'll take years. But that's kind of what we want to talk about, you know, getting the right guitar for
exactly.
you.
Yeah, that's kind of the whole point of this video, is because, you know, let's say you're someone who, you know, you want to play guitar. You really want to, but you're not feeling inspired or motivated for some reason. It could be 100 of different reasons why. But I can tell you one of the big reasons for me was like, every time I play guitar, I've had a lot of guitars in my hands that are amazing, but I just didn't feel like, it just didn't feel right in my hands. It didn't feel like something that was calling to me, that would tell me, come pick me up and play me, you know, come shred on me, do this, that. Until I got this one. Ever since I've had this guitar, I've played it every single day for like 2-3 hours. And I haven't done that in a while with a guitar. The longest I would maybe play guitar would be like, I'd go a day or two and then I'd put it down for like 2 weeks. And I didn't want that to happen. I was tired of that. You know, I love guitar. I kept asking myself, what is the problem? And then I finally realized, it's just that the instrument I was playing before was not the one that I truly wanted to play. Not the one that was motivating me to play, if that makes any sense.
Like for me, I'm hardcore Ibanez. I love them.
Yeah.
I love the neck. I love everything about Ibanez. But like he's saying, you know, guitars, like if you're struggling about playing, like you don't know if you should or you don't want to, and then you see someone in a band like a Blu-ray or something, a live Blu-ray, and they're holding their guitar, and you're like, wow, I'd love to have that.
Yeah.
That's what happened with me with this. Like when I seen John playing the Majesty, I was like, I want that, but I couldn't get it. This is a Majesty. It's just a bolt-on version. That's a bolt-on neck version. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Same features, without the neck through.
And this is the exact same. I think the only difference they said was the I'm going brain dead here for a minute.
The bridge.
The bridge. Yeah. With the bridge on this is a little bit different than it was back in the day when Tom DeLonge played it, but it's just slightly different. It's not too much of a difference, but other than that, it's pretty much the same exact guitar that he played. You know, and just like him, I've seen him play it back in the early 2000s, and then even today,
like, I gotta have
and
that.
I was like, I want that guitar. I want it. Like it just looks cool. It sounds cool.
These guitars, for both of us, have been 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
Trying to get something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And him getting something like that. Like I have the reissue of the RG550 from 2022. And like he said, you know, the bridge on that one's different from the one they had in the early 2000s. And the pickups in my 550 are different from the original version. And the neck on mine is a little bit thicker than it was in 87 when they first came out. So if you guys are watching your favorite bands and you see their guitars and you're like, I want that, go for it, man.
Yeah, save up the money.
Save up the money and do it.
Yeah, don't just like be like, oh, I want a guitar now, because I've made that mistake so many times. I'm like, you know, I've had a lot of moments where I was inspired to play. You know, maybe I watched, you know, a music video, listened to a song. I'm like, oh, I want to play right now, and I might have not had a guitar at the time, or I might have not wanted to play the current one. I wanted just a different one to play. And I went out.
It's a mad disease.
Yeah, it
It's
is
a
when
mad
you're a musician. Yeah.
I've got 6 guitars in my room. Maybe I'll have 7 come Friday.
Yeah. This is right now. This is number 2. I have currently also own a EC1000 that this guy gave me
For your birthday. Hell yeah, man.
for my birthday. Gotta have a friend like that, guys.
You can't have this one though.
No,
I'm sorry.
He ain't gonna give me this one, no matter what. Like even if my life depended on it.
But see, kind of like with him, you know, he was like, I've had all these different guitars, and you go out here and you might buy your Squier Strats, or your Epiphone Les Pauls, or Ibanez Geos. If you save up your money and say you get $1,300, maybe $1,500 to $3,000, you go out and get you something like this or something like that Strat over there. When you feel that build quality and the feel in these guitars, you're going to want to play it. I mean, it's a lot of money, and it might make your heart stop when you hand it to them. I told him to bring a toilet out because I almost shit my pants when I was paying for that one.
Sure, I was there.
And
the look on their face was priceless.
But like me and him played this one before I went back to buy it. And for me, I don't know how it was for you, but as soon as I put my hand on the neck and touched the strings, it felt like home.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with this guitar for me. And like we told each other, you know, like I said, these are, we both play different styles of music. I mean, I play a lot of things that he likes to play too, but there's certain things that he plays that I don't really play. But that's okay, you know, and then there's things I play that he don't really play, and that's okay too. We just both really respect that we're both musicians and we like music and we like to play guitar.
We will bust each other's balls every now and then.
Oh yeah, like I'll make fun of bands that he likes, he'll make fun of bands that I like. It's, you know, it's the nature of friendship. But yeah, just like he said, whenever you see your favorite musician on stage playing a guitar that's just calling to you. That's the way this guitar was for me. Like that was for him. It just called to me, and I knew I had to have it.
That's the reason that I own my Joe Satriani that I own at home.
It's that back then I couldn't get it because it wasn't in production. This guitar has been in production for a long time.
Since 2000, they made the first JP6.
The only problem was it's expensive as hell. So
the 7-string version of this is $38.99. So by the time you get the taxes added to that, you're looking at about $4,100.
Yeah, but he lucked out on that one.
Thanks to you, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect. I was just, you know, browsing through, and I just noticed it. I'm like, yeah, I gotta make sure my buddy gets that guitar because, like, I can't count how many times. You know, every time we've talked, he's always mentioned this guitar.
I'm driving him crazy with that, dude.
Like, shut the hell up about the guitar. No, I'm just kidding. No,
you were doing that with this one too.
Yeah, I was talking a lot. I wouldn't shut up about this one either. So, like, and that's just it. You know, if you're doing that and you're talking that much about it, you need to get it. No ifs, ands, or buts. You got to save up your money and pull the plug on it. I don't care if it's $1,000, $2,000, $3,000. Get that guitar you really want, because that's the whole point. Like I said, that's the whole point of this video, is to tell you that you got a dream guitar, go for that dream guitar, because it's going to really push you to want to play and want to learn as much as possible.
No doubt. Since I've had this, I practice at least 3.5 hours a day. Even after work, I'll come home and practice something, because the guitar is always in view, and it just speaks to you. And there's one thing I want to say. It applies to this too. That's a Mexican Strat. That's a Mexico-made Strat. And this is a American, California-made Ernie Ball Music Man. They do have the Squires and the Sterling model. Don't kid yourself about, I'm not trying to sound like a dick here, but if you're looking at a Sterling JP15 and you think, well, that's just as good as this. If you side by side those two guitars and you touch them and feel both of them and play them, this is night and day compared to that.
And I can tell you a funny thing is that we used to think the same way.
Yeah,
we used to think we used to go against all the people that played Gibson or played the really expensive guitars and say, like, oh, cheap, you know, everybody, like, you got Epiphone nowadays, better than Gibson. You got Sterling, better than Ernie Ball. You got Squire, better than Fender. You don't need to do that. Yes, you do. I'm just going to say yes, you do.
The only thing that sucks about this guitar, say you play one at a music store and you've got an RG or Schecter or whatever, and you're like, man, I love these DiMarzio Eliminator pickups. They just sound great. I'm going to order those for my guitar. You can't do that. These pickups only come in the JP15. That's the only way you can get them. You can get his Crunch Lab and Liquefier, I believe. But his Rainmaker and Dreamcatcher, you can get those too. But for the Eliminators, it's only in this guitar. And there's one other set. Sonic Ecstasies. They were only available in the 2014 Majesty, and It's like he made these pickups for the guitar itself to give it the quality that it has. So that's kind of a downside. If you want these pickups, you're gonna have to pay about $3,500.
Yeah, and with this guitar, you know, there is no Squier version of this. There is only this version they come out with, the Fender version. They used to have a Squier version back in the day, but they didn't do it nowadays with the reissue. They only wanted to do it with a Fender one, and because this is actually a limited edition. Eventually, this is going to be gone, and that's another major reason I wanted this guitar, is because now, you know, this will be mine, and one day, there's not going to be any more in production.
It'll be gone forever.
It'll be gone forever. But now I have one, and I won't have to worry about being that kid 20 years ago that couldn't get his hands on one again.
Now, there were limited edition JP15s and Majesties. And I was thinking, I was like, I might get one of those one day, you know, that'd be cool. I'll save up for that. Dude, $6,000.
Yeah.
Now that for me, I'll pay $2,000, $3,000, but $6,000, dude, I just cannot justify that. And I'm a hardcore player. I love to play, but I can't justify no $6,000 for a guitar.
Yeah, unless you're rich, you know, you got the money to throw away, why not? You know?
Yeah,
But,
exactly.
I mean, this right here is perfect enough. This is perfect enough.
They're both beautiful instruments.
Very beautiful.
I played that one, his Strat, and for my style of playing, I can't play that the way I can play this.
Mm-hmm. The same, vice versa for me. Like, this is, although I will say this is a very effortless guitar. Anybody can pick up and play it. But, like, for my style, I'm more towards this. Because I'm very fast. I like to play palm muting, power chords. I do like to play leads, too. So, but you can play leads on that as well. You know, like I said, this guitar, even though it don't have a neck pickup and all the fancy other specs and gadgets that this guitar has, this one still can do a lot on its own.
Some people like bare bones. Some people like to have everything but the kitchen sink on their guitar. But for me, he was talking about the effortlessness of this guitar. Mm-hmm. That's true. And I've been playing guitar 22 years, and I screw up a lot on this guitar because it's so easy to play. I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
I hit bad notes. I ring out open strings I'm not supposed to.
It'll get away from you when
you got to tame the beast, man.
You really got to control. You really got to control yourself. But you really just got to control yourself in general when you're playing.
But if you think $1,300 just is way too much, or $2,000, $3,000, it's just way too much, I don't think I could do that. If you play it, you'll do that. You will. Because the build quality on these instruments, you're not going to get that in a Squier or a Sterling. The components are way different, way better quality.
I will say there is controversy with mine. If anybody...
Your guitar sucks, dude.
Yeah. If anybody is familiar with the reissue that likes Home Along, you know, is wanting one of these or has one of their own, then you know that people have had, you know, bad luck with some coming in. Like some people would say that they'd get theirs and the string would be overlapping the fretboard, or there would be defects in the body. There could be like big cracks, or the bridge will be misaligned, or the neck will be misaligned. You know. This one came
Mexican Stratocasters with a bad neck pocket. I've seen a bunch of them.
That could be any guitar, even this one.
Yeah, they're mass produced.
Yeah, anybody can make a mistake. This one came to me damn near flawless. It has it has like one little very small blemish right here, but it's hardly noticeable, and it doesn't really bother me. I just mainly cared about playability.
It's there.
All the other issues. I'm not going to say those issues didn't worry me whenever I was trying to get this guitar, but hey, this thing, it came to me playing great right out of the box. And this Seymour Duncan Invader really screams, I'm telling you.
Even this one, man. I mean, this is $3,500. Mm-hmm. And I've heard people saying the piezo saddles don't work like they're supposed to, or there's some dead frets. Because one thing about stainless steel frets, they have to be perfectly leveled and crowned, or the whole guitar will not play right. And sometimes it just don't make it out of inspection, you know? It makes it through inspection.
Yep. Sorry, one sec, guys. I just gotta make it. I gotta fix something right here.
But
my camera decided to
I definitely say
screw up on me.
I definitely say if you really want to get a guitar because your favorite player is playing that guitar, you got to do it. I mean, I owned a Kirk Hammett. I owned two of them because Kirk was my idol, and then Satriani. I've got two of those at home, and now Petrucci. I've got one of his.
Yep. And I got me a Tom DeLonge.
Oh, I got so inspired by John and this guitar and all of his guitars. I went and bought the JP Strat. I'm wearing a John Petrucci hat right now.
I'm wearing a Blink shirt.
The only thing I can say about this guitar that I don't like about it is that Petrucci's hand doesn't come with it, so that I can play that way, you know?
Saying, if you're like this much of a fan, you know, like he's wearing the Dream Theater shirt and hat.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the Blink shirt. I got the guitar. Yeah. If you're that big of a fan of the musician and they got a signature guitar, get that signature guitar.
Do it.
Even if it takes you 2, 3, 4, 5 years to save up the money, you won't be disappointed in the end because you'll finally have something that you worked for, you've achieved your goal, you've got it, and now every day you look and say, like, that's mine, you know?
And you can pick it up, you can play it anytime you want. It's always there for you. You might have to have some components replaced over time. And that extra money, totally worth it on something like this or that. Because, man, this has been 20 years almost that I've wanted one of these.
20 years for me, too.
And that weight, totally worth it. Without a doubt. Totally worth it. That's the only guitar I play lately.
Yeah, same here. You know, like I said, I got an EC1000 that is an amazing guitar that he gave me, and I played it from time to time as well. But this one, ever since I've got it, I can't stop. I just want to keep playing, you know, and I've practiced more now in the past couple of weeks that I've had this guitar than I have in the past, probably year.
2.5 years, maybe?
Yeah. It was just only times I ever really wanted to practice a lot were when I got really, really inspired and motivated by like maybe a song I was listening to or something somebody said or I seen something like that. But now I got not only music inspiring me, but I also got the guitar I've always wanted inspiring me as well. And it's better to have, you know, more than one sources of motivation and inspiration.
And one thing about inspiration that you have to know is once it hits you, when it hits you, follow it. Drop what you're doing, go to your instrument, and follow that inspiration because it's very fleeting. It may not come again for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I can't tell you how many times that I've had that feeling, that fleeting feeling. It happens a lot. It sucks because it happens a lot at work.
For real.
And then you're like, oh, I got this idea. I want to go home and I want to try to work out on the guitar. And by the time you get home, you're like, well, damn, I'm tired as hell and I want to go to sleep.
9.5 hour day for me, man. And I've got guitar parts in my head.
12 hours for me.
I've got fucking practicing parts in my head that I'm running through. Try not to forget it.
Yep.
You know, and when you get home, sometimes you're just like, man, I just don't want to do that. But even if you don't want to play the guitar for a certain day, when you pick it up like this and you're looking at it like that, you know, it's just like, wow. They're even beautiful to look at, even when you don't play them.
Yeah, these guitars are the type of guitars that you can't walk by without looking at them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, like, yeah, you have to stop and admire the beauty, you know, like a pretty girl.
And I was lucky enough to get this because some guy bought it brand new, kept it a week, I'm guessing, and returned it, and it ended up at my local guitar center. And they were like, I guess he just didn't like the neck on it. I can't find a single flaw in anything on this guitar. And if it wasn't for him, I would have never got this.
Yeah, I know. Whenever I saw it, I was like, okay, it's $2,500, and then I think you said, like, I wonder what's wrong with it.
Yeah, dude.
Because, like, the guitar looked damn near perfect by picture. So it was like, yeah, we got to go down there and we got to try it out, man, and see how it plays and how it feels. And I was like, damn, man, this thing plays good. And he looked it over and was like, I don't see anything wrong with it.
The piezo works fine, no issues. The only issue it had was a little fret buzz in the middle of the neck. Got it home, tightened the truss rod just a half a turn, pulled all that out.
Yep.
No worries. But I got 10% off on it, 10 or 20%, I think it was, and it came out to $23.84. And I was totally happy to pay that money for it.
Mm-hmm. I was happy to pay for this one too. This guitar goes for about $1,300, and people say, like, oh, that's way too much for a Mexican Strat. And I was like, well, you know, considering Mexican Strats nowadays are about $850, and
it's not too terrible.
They're not even signatures. And you know, this one is a signature, and it's limited edition. It has a more expensive pickup in it, and it has
that looks like an American bridge, like what the American Strats use.
Yeah, you would think it's an American Strat. The only thing I really kind of have an issue with this guitar is the tuners. The vintage tuners on it aren't the greatest, and that's exactly why I'm putting the locking tuners on there. But I mean, other than that, it's an amazing, amazing guitar, and I love it.
But this one, man, just sitting here like this and looking at it, I still think I'm dreaming. So if you guys want to get your favorite guitar or your favorite artist's guitar, even if you don't want a signature model, even if it is a Les Paul custom or a custom shop Fender or something like that, that's like $5,000.
Or PRS.
Go for it. Save up the money and go
ESP.
for it.
Yeah. Just whatever catches your, whatever calls to you.
Yes.
Whatever calls to you is the main thing.
And when you go to a music store to buy a guitar, sit and play every guitar you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
If you're undecided on it, play every one you can get your hands on.
And definitely don't just buy one just by looking at it. You have to play it first.
Yes.
Don't just go, oh, I want that guitar, walk out with it. You know, you got to play it for at least about 30 minutes.
So, wow, this one looks cool. I think I'll get that. Then you get home, it's like, God, I hate this thing.
Yeah, because you don't know how it's going to feel when you play it, unless you play it.
Does it have any problems? You can't tell in music stores when they got all that music playing in the PA system over the store. When you get home and it's quiet in your house and you play, you can hear things that you didn't hear in that store.
Yep, exactly.
And one thing with the signatures, like you said, that's $1,300. This is $3,500. And it's like, well,
yeah, these are two different levels right here.
Well, like, why are they so expensive? I mean, a Mexican Strat shouldn't cost that much. It's a little thing called artist tax.
Yeah, artist tax.
Because this name says John Petrucci on it.
This one says Tom DeLonge on the back plate. Or it says Tom, but it's Tom DeLonge.
And then, you know, that shoots the price up ever how much their artist tax is worth. And then there's the build quality, the components they use. Stainless steel frets to get that done is probably $300, $400 on a standard guitar. So, if you guys want it, man, go get it.
And this is not a video comparing these two. This is just a video talking about you getting the instrument you want. Because like I was just saying a second ago, these guitars are on totally different levels. But they're for us, though. They're what we like. Who we grew up with, who we are inspired by. That's why we got these guitars. I know people would probably look at mine like, why didn't you get one like that too? And it's like way better. I'm like, that's not the point.
No, it's not the point.
Nope.
I mean, I'm not John Petrucci. I can't play that way. But this guitar makes me play better.
Yeah, this guitar makes me play better. Whatever guitar makes you want to play better and practice, that's the guitar you need.
Yeah, no doubt. But man, I still think it's crazy that I own this.
Yeah, me too. And that's what you want, guys, right there. That's what you want. You want to get the guitar that you've always wanted, and you want to be able to sit and look at it and say, you know, I never thought I'd own this, like he just said.
Yeah. Like I have at home, I have a Les Paul Studio, $1,600. I have a RG Prestige Ibanez that was $1,400. My 550 was $1,000. And then I have a Harley Benton It's pretty good guitar, pretty good 7-string.
I had a Harley Benton as well.
This guitar wins out on the playtime, even over my Sag that I have, that I paid $18.99 for and got screwed on. Sorry.
I'll give you another example. So, the Harley Benton that I had, you remember how I was talking about it just as much as this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, wow, look at that. I wanted that Harley Benton specifically because it reminded me of the Gibson double cut Les Paul that Billy Joe Armstrong used to play back in the day. It was the TV yellow colored, although they called it like yellow mustard on Harley Benton's website.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted it to make it look like Billy Joe's because I looked up to Billy Joe as well, as just like Tom DeLonge. But when I got that guitar, I played it for just a little while. And then eventually the motivation, it wore off. It wasn't there. It wasn't nowhere near as strong as it is with this guitar. And I'm using that as an example because I feel like maybe some people, they might think they want something when they really don't.
Yeah.
So, you just need to be like, you just need to really weigh in all your options, and you need to try to realize who you really look up to the most. Because I did look up to Billy Joe Armstrong a lot, but I looked up to Tom DeLonge more because he's honestly what really pushed me into playing guitar back in the day when I first picked up one. The first song I ever truly learned all the way through was Stay Together for the Kids. And I look back on that and I was like, well, damn, man, that's the fucking turning point for me. That was whenever I knew, like, yeah, that was the guy that made me the player I am today. And
for me,
I had to have the guitar.
It was Kirk Hammett for me. And I've owned multiple Hammett models. They're pretty much the same until you get up into the Japanese ESP, which isn't even as expensive as this. And then I got into Satch. I was all about Satriani. And then I found Steve Vai, and I was like, I want a gem. So here's my example. Some signature guitars are not for everyone.
Yeah.
And I picked up a gem one time. It's an amazing guitar. It is. But the string spacing on those is for Steve's massively long fingers.
That guy's got gorilla hands, man.
Yeah, and if you have short, stubby fingers, or I don't know, hot sausage length fingers, that guitar's not going to play well for you. You're not going to feel comfortable on it. So that's why we say, and we kind of rave about, play them and see if it feels right to you.
Yeah.
I was diehard Gibson for years, but this Gibson's not even close.
This is probably, next to, other than the EC, this is probably the most expensive guitar I've actually ever owned in my life, believe it or not.
This is mine, no doubt about it.
They're like $1,300.
I can tell you now, if I went in there and paid for this on my card, my debit card, my bank would have just like slam locked.
They would have locked that shit
What are you
down.
doing?
FBI comes in and say, what the fuck's going on in here?
I still feel like one day John's going to come to my house and be like, why do you have that?
You're not worthy of it, give me it. And the guitar just levitates towards him. I'll be taking that.
That guy's otherworldly, man.
Yeah.
World-class musician.
Yeah. And people, you can say what you want about Tom DeLonge as a musician. People will either love him or hate him as a guitar player. But no one can ever deny that he inspired so many to pick up a guitar.
John gets a lot of hate too. I mean, people say it's just
everybody gets hate. Every musician gets hate.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, people will say like, "Oh, Tom, he's bad. He's a bad player. He plays easy power chords and shit like that. He's not technical. He's generic.
He's generic. Everybody's generic at some point. We've all stolen everything we know from other people."
The thing with Tom is, and just like John, they both use what works for them in their style of playing. And it's if you haven't noticed, it's accelerated their career
Yeah.
to incredible heights. I mean, Blink-182 is one of the biggest bands in the world.
They've been around for years.
Dream Theater is a big band.
Portnoy's back. Portnoy's back.
Yeah, Mike
That's
Portnoy
great.
just rejoined.
One thing I can say about this guitar, this is out of John's brain, you know, and it's the most practical instrument that I've ever owned.
Mhm.
All these controls follow the arc of your arm when you're playing. The switch, everything follows the arc of your arm, so you can just hit it as you need when you're playing. It's all performance in mind. And it'll do anything you need to do, no question.
Same with this guitar, the way it's designed. A lot of people might not like the knob placement, but I find it to be in the perfect place for me. And the way Tom explained it is he's like, he didn't like all the knobs. Like there's like 3 knobs on a Fender. And he's like, they're all in my way. And he's like, I don't care about using it. It's the simplicity. It's the simplicity that I really like the same way.
It's on or off.
Yeah,
That's what you
on, off,
got.
on, off. And the treble bleed circuit on this is also amazing as well. Turn this thing like almost all the way down, and it's almost like you got a clean sound and you don't even got to press a pedal or anything.
This guitar comes set to what John has it set with the piezo and the gain boost here. But on the back, you can't really see it, but on the back there are settings. You can make it sound the way you want it to sound. He made it all adjustable. There's a battery compartment for your volume boost. There's 2 input jacks on it, so you got a mono and a stereo. You can run 2 amps, you can run 1 amp. Or run the piezo through a DI. It sounds the best that way.
Mm-hmm.
We felt that out on your guitar rig today.
Yep.
Dude, I'm missing out. I gotta give me
You
one.
gotta get you a guitar rig, man.
I'm gonna get the Archetype Petrucci, man. I think so.
That's also another thing. Other than the guitar, get you something really nice to play on, like a good amplifier that you really always wanted. Or get you, he was just saying, I play through software called Guitar Rig on my computer.
It sounds just as good as my tube amp at home.
There's so many different presets on there. I got a preset perfectly set for this that I can get it to sound exactly like Tom has it. Like back in the day, like on Enema of the State album, or Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Sorry.
Take your pants off.
We don't know what we're gonna be doing in these videos.
We're just babbling on now at this point. We're just having fun. So, but
he has the Petrucci clean setting on his guitar rig, and we tried the piezo with that. It sounds just like John. I mean, you can tell it's not him playing, but
mine's basically
it's beautiful, man.
Like a Mesa triple rectifier setting for mine. So
that's another thing too, guys. If you have a certain amp in mind, I'd love to have a Mesa.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to have a Marshall. Go get that Mesa. Get that Marshall, dude. Go on the used market if you can't get a new one.
There are a lot of signature amps out there. EVH is a great one. Really great one.
Oh, yeah. Our buddy Josh has got the PV5152.
Mm-hmm.
That amp crushes, boy.
Crushes.
But if you say you want that, right? And you're like, man, I can never afford that. You want to save some cash. Get the PV6505. It's the exact same circuit, everything. It's identical. They just had to take the 5150 off of it when Eddie left PV.
Yeah.
He took that trademark with it. So if John ever left Music Man, these guitars could still exist. They would just be called something else.
Yeah.
They have to pull this name off of it.
You couldn't say the same about these, although you can replicate it. But that's the thing. You know, a lot of people will say about this guitar, oh, just build one. It's a lot cheaper and better. It's not the same.
There's one thing you should look into, dude, that Petrucci just put out. His IR collection. Impulse Response collection. You can get his cabinet tones from his solo album, Terminal Velocity, Liquid Tension Experiment 3, and the latest Dream Theater, View from the Top of the World. You can get those. It's like a cab clone that goes into your computer.
Oh, okay.
And you can get like his snapshots in time of what that cabinet sounded like. It's pretty cool.
There's a lot of things he knows more than me. I mean, he's played music longer than me, so of course he does.
I know, I just know what John explained. If I had that in front of me, I wouldn't know how to even use it. I'm a dumbass when it comes to technology, dude. He knows more about computers than me.
Yeah, I know. I've dabbled in recording a little bit, but I'm no fucking studio engineer. But
we wanted to make this video just talk about our guitars and let people know if you want something like this because your favorite artist uses it, no matter the cost, dude, go for it. Because you're not going to regret it.
Yeah. Get something that's going to make you happy, motivated, inspired.
I'm not trying to be a douche again, but if you really want the USA Music Man Petrucci, or you want the Japanese Satch, the JS series, or the Gem, whatever guitar it is, there's lower cost versions of these guitars. Just save up for this, man. Save up for the highest quality you can get.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a better experience when you put your hands on it.
And also, we're not,
we're not snobs.
We're not trying to sound like snobs or anything. We're not trying to make it sound like playing cheap instruments like Squires and Squires and LTDs or Sterlings or whatever. Epiphone. We're not trying to make it sound like, oh, those guitars are just horrible. Nobody should ever play them. No, we're not going to be that type of snob. No, because that's where we came from.
Yeah,
we grew up playing nothing but that. But it's just like now, once you've played all that for years and you actually have something that is well made, well built, has really good components, you're just like, wow, I'm really missing out. I was really missing out.
I've met a lot of guys, man. People in their 60s, 70s. Yeah. And I show them my Squire Strats I had at the time, or Epiphone Les Paul, and they would tell me, if you would just go buy one USA-made instrument, which they were all about Gibson and Fender, you never look back. I got that. This one right here, this is the only guitar I touch most of the time. And I was like, wow, they were right.
Remember, we were kind of those guys that used to dog on people that had expensive instruments.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, we don't need that crap, man.
It's not going to make you play better. That's definitely true, though.
People are wasting their money. Yeah, it's not going to make you play better, and that's true. Like you just said, it's true. It won't make you play better, but it will make you practice more to get better.
I know, the signature guitars are not going to make you play like those players.
Yeah, that's one thing.
They will inspire you more to get to that level.
You can have all the gear in the world that your favorite artist plays, but you will never be able to play like them.
It comes down to how your finger touches the wire, man. That's it.
If you want to get to their level, you got to work your way up to it. That's all there is to it. You're not going to start that way just by having their gear.
You can put John Petrucci on this guitar, and then 20 minutes later, put him on that guitar. He's still going to sound like John.
Yep.
Because of how he plays. Satriani's the same way. Anybody. Malmsteen even. Paul Gilbert. All these dudes. They all have their own unique touch. Like he plays, me and him can play the same riff. It'll sound completely different from each other.
Yeah. Can't even tell you how many times we've done that. You'll show me a riff and I'll hear you and I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then I'll play it and I'm like, why doesn't it sound like you? I'm like, oh yeah, because it's not you.
It's not me.
But yeah, it just all comes down to practice, guys. Practice is the only way you're going to get to the level of your favorite artist.
Like this guy used to tell me, I'll never be able to play Kill Switch.
Yeah.
I'll never be able to play anything like that when I first met him. And I was like, yeah, you will. You just got to work at it.
I used to say, no, I can't do that. Because I was practicing the song Rose of Sharon by Kill Switch Engage. And I was just looking at the tabs of it, listening to it. I'm like, man, there's no way I'm ever going to learn how to play this song, ever. And then I got the Harley Benton guitar. And like I said, I got really motivated at first when I got it. And I was practicing literally almost every day for like up to 2 hours. And I was like, oh wait, I'm starting to get it. Get it more and more. A little bit more and more. And then eventually I was playing through the whole song. And I was like, son of a bitch. And here I was saying I could never do it.
And Steve Vai would say, he did say in an interview, picture yourself playing it perfectly. It's beautiful. It's elegant. Mm-hmm. You will make it through the song. You may not make it through the song perfectly. But you get to the end, you go back to the beginning, and woodshed it again.
Yep.
But I would give him things. I would give him things at my house. Take this home and practice it, dude. Do it. And then he'd come back, and he was playing what I taught him. And that's how he got the EC for his birthday from me.
Still can't believe I own it. I'm like, damn.
I should have videoed that one, man.
I was like, because, you know, I always wanted an EC 1000 too. And I'm like, well, I just got one for free. Holy shit.
It's a badass guitar, man.
But yeah, that's pretty much, I think, all we got to say about it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, we just wanted to make this fun little video, and sorry if we babbled on about a whole bunch of random crap, but
Dude.
we were just having fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just wanted you guys to know how much we really admire
And appreciate these instruments.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, John Petrucci could sit here and explain this thing way better than me.
Yeah.
But if you're just the average guy, even though Prog Metal Jesus plays this instrument, you can pick it up and be totally comfortable on it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you might have to make an action adjustment if it's too low, or a neck relief adjustment or something like that. But these guitars, you can do, anybody can play them. Anybody can pick that one up and jam on it. Some people may not like that don't have a neck pickup, but you got more wood there, you get better sustain.
Yeah, it just all depends. All right, Beavis. But yeah, you know. Oh yeah, I was gonna add one more thing about that. Is that we could bring like a line of people here, like 30, 40, 50 people, to try out both these guitars. And there's always going to be someone that's going to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It just depends on who you are.
I mean, some people would pick this up and think it's the worst thing they've ever touched.
Yeah, like that guy that probably returned it.
Yeah.
Like, he might have said, I hate this.
Yeah, they said he didn't like the neck on it or something like that. And maybe that neck isn't for everybody.
No, this neck isn't for everybody.
I can't get used to that one. After playing this one, it's too thick for me.
But anyway, just go for what is calling to you.
Absolutely. Don't second guess it either.
Yeah.
Like, should I go for that cheaper version? Or should I get the high end that I really want?
Yeah, that you really want.
Get the high end that you really want.
Because people make the mistake of being like, oh, I'll just get the cheaper version so I can have it right now at this second. Or I could save up another couple of months and get the more expensive. See, it all comes down to patience, really. If you're an impatient person, you're not going to get what you really want. You got to be patient with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, 20 years in the making. So.
You waited what? After you ordered that, you waited
Yeah, I ordered this
almost 4
on
months.
release day, early in the morning, like at, I think 1 o'clock in the morning. And I still had to wait almost 3 months to get it.
So this one?
But it was worth the wait.
I was at work the day we were supposed to go down for me to get it. Just shaking in my boots, man, thinking it was going to sell. I checked the website every break. I'd go to the bathroom and check it real quick and come back to my workstation.
I'd be checking my email, see if they gave me any notifications. I'd be calling them up and be like, my guitar in yet? But anyway, guys, I think that's going to be the end of the video.
Thanks for watching, man.
Thanks for listening to us babble on about guitar, because guitar is awesome. And I hope you guys have a good day and good night wherever you are in the world. And always remember to metal up your ass.
Shred it up all the time. Play what you play every day. Thanks for watching. Yep.